Have you ever wanted to quit? Have you ever just wanted to throw in the towel, go lay down, and do nothing else? Well, this is the video for you. Hey guys, I'm Hadassah. Welcome back to the Proverbs series. We hope that you have been enjoying this awesome series thus far, and we are so excited to continue to give you more videos. Today we're talking about Proverbs 19, and our main question is, what does it mean as a young person to be spiritually slowful? Now, if you watch our Proverbs video on chapter 6, you might be like, we kind of already talked about this. We talked about being sluggish. If you have not watched that, pause and go check it out. Now that you've watched it, let's talk about Proverbs 19. So in that video, we did talk about being a sluggard. And in this video, we're going to talk about what it means to be slothful, especially for young people. So what does it actually mean to be slothful? Slothful means indolence, which means laziness, and it also means sluggishness. And what does it actually mean to be sluggish? Sluggish means to be slow to respond or to make progress. Now, here are two examples of this in Proverbs 19. Proverbs 19, 15 and 24 says, "Slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. A slothful man hideth his hand in his bosom, and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again." Now these examples are showing you how slothfulness clearly leads to pretty much nothing. Like, you're getting nothing done. No rewards, no progress, no response, just nothing. You can't even lift your hand to bring your own self food. You're automatically going into this deep sleep. There's no progress being made when you are slothful. This definition of sluggishness is really quite scary when you think about it. Spiritually, this means that when God calls you, you don't respond. And when God wants you to make progress, when He's challenging you to new levels and new heights, you're just at a standstill. You're kind of like, God, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm pretty much just going to do what I want to do. I'll move as fast or as slow as I want to, instead of actually answering the call that God has given you. Now, because slothfulness and sluggishness is such just really, it's the road to nowhere. And so if you want to be a young person who does nothing and gets nowhere in life, well, that's the road for you, unfortunately. But God always gives us a solution, another opportunity, and another chance to change what the devil wants us to be into what God has called us to be. And so instead of sluggish, I'd rather be poor. Now, you might be thinking, like, what? Like, when you think of a sluggish person or a slothful person, you don't think anything good. And when you think of a poor person, you don't really think anything good either. But I'm challenging you to look at the poor man in Proverbs 19. The poor man in Proverbs 19 is mentioned several times throughout this chapter because some of the first things mentioned about the poor man is his struggle. They talk about how his friends don't like him, how he's hated and mistreated. But then, here comes God with the poor man's reward. Now, oddly enough, it actually starts with the poor man's reward because it talks about better is a poor man that walks in integrity. And then later down in the chapter, it talks about how a poor man is better than a liar and how he that gives to a poor man actually gives to God. So as a poor man, this poor man in Proverbs 19, or poor woman, you are actually being a representative of God. Those who bless you are actually blessing God. And instead of making no progress at all, you're rising above every obstacle, every circumstance, to be that person who is better than a liar, who walks in integrity, who walks in the fear of the Lord. And who would not want to be that person? I want to be that person. How about you? So So I hope you have enjoyed Proverbs 19, and I hope that encouraged you to get out of that pit of just doom and despair and to take on some joy and become that poor person that God can use to shine His light through. Now, to hear more about these topics, go check out the message, the sermon, He Calls the Poor to Deliver the Poor by Emmanuel's Temple. It is an amazing sermon, an amazing message, truly a word from God, and it'll make you look at the poor man in a completely different way, at the poor person in a completely different way. Even if you got a slightly different perspective from this video, you'll gain even more understanding from that sermon. And I also encourage you to check out, like I said before, if you didn't listen before, listen now and check out our episode about being an ant or a slug and laziness from our Proverbs series, Proverbs chapter 4. God bless.